Bam, y'all know what it is. What's going on? It's Cess Talk Sports now. Joining the conversation. It's your favorite auntie with Uncle Tendencies. I'm hanging out with Coach Roll. What's up, Coach? What's good?
What's up? As y'all know, whoever tuned in last night, great job again, Cess, with the show. I was able to pop in for a minute, show y'all a little bit of the city. We're going to do that again. We're going to do that more often. Cess and I are going to show y'all some of Detroit, where we at, where we from, some events, some live streaming, getting to know everybody a little better. So, lots going on in WNBA. We have a lot to talk about, and I'm ready to go. What's up with you?
Before I talk WNBA, I'm gonna talk Anthony Edwards. I'm gonna talk Anthony Edwards real quick. Anthony Edwards real quick, and I'm gonna talk to him because, what happened? What happened? I mean, Denver one game from a closeout. Minnesota, I think they're going back home. I think they headed back home. Got a chance to kind of tie this thing up. Anthony Edwards, though. I want to see how he plays. I want to see how he plays. I know some people said he was a little bit too relaxed, talking about all he could do is just laugh about Joker. I know how people could take that like he's not taking it serious or he kind of has given up. But I also think that it's a new era of young people that kind of play just a little bit looser, with a little bit less pressure when you look at kind of how South Carolina plays. So I'm not really writing him off as not taking it serious or not, still wanting to compete. Sometimes, I mean, with the way the Joker playing, I mean, all you can. I mean, what do you want to? What do you do with a player of that caliber, right? Joker, best player in the world right now, I think. But I don't think that lessens Anthony Edwards' opportunity or his trajectory to be on his way to being the face of this league. And I heard people saying that after they went up 2, and then lost the what they lost now 3 in a row, I believe.
3 in a row.
That he's not on that same trajectory.
No.
I think that's a.
No.
I think that's a little premature. I think he's still on the trajectory to be the face of this league. I think when you look at people try to parallel him to Michael Jordan, so I would look at this maybe like the Celtics, the Celtics series.
Thank you.
When Mike went off for like 63, and that was in the loss. Was that 63, 61? I forget what he went off for, but I think I would compare it to something more like that than I would write him off. And then I'm just going to be honest. I'm going to be honest. A big part of this problem is Rudy Gobert. Like, where are you at? Where are you, Rudy Gobert? You're too big for this. You're too big for this. And so this was always my concern with bringing Rudy in here. He's very inconsistent. He can get beat on defense a lot. He's too big to get beat on defense. If nothing else, you got to be able to protect the rim. But disappeared, and maybe Rudy should be coming off the bench. I know Nas was the 6th man of the year, but maybe should be starting in this situation. But what do you think, Coach?
Okay, I'm glad you started with this. Okay, here's I've watched every game of this series, and let me tell you what I saw was this. First and foremost, let's be clear: the largest margin of victory for Minnesota in this series is when Rudy Gobert didn't play. He chose to see the birth of his child, which is perfectly fine. They had their best game. That was game 2. Okay. Game 3 comes around. You're playing the defending champs. They made an adjustment. The adjustment was, we're going to bring a second defender to Anthony Edwards every time he touches the ball. That's exactly what they did. Now, people may say, well, it didn't work. He still hit 40. Yes, it did work, because what it did was it made him work 10 times harder for every single point that he was able to get. This is the playoffs now. So it looks totally different when you're playing one-on-one against somebody and getting buckets. And now you have to go through 2 or 3 defenders just to get a basic layup or, by the way, or even get a foul call. So games 3 and 4, Anthony Edwards saw something that he hasn't seen all season. 2 tough defenders at all times in his face, primarily for the entirety of the game. So when it comes down to Minnesota, the problem with Minnesota, I agree, is not just Gobert. Big Cat is playing pretty well. But I said from the beginning of the season, Big Cat is not a Robin. I think I forgot who you said, the Orko or whatever. Yeah, and I'm not going to.
Everybody need Orko.
Yeah, I'm not going to disrespect Big Cat. I think Big Cat in my opinion, is Robert Ory 2.0. He's fallen in love with the 3-point shot. He makes the 3-point shot, but Anthony Edwards needs another dog on that team. He needs a Robin on that team to him being Batman. For anybody to say that this is stopping his trajectory, that is absolutely ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous to say that. Anthony Edwards, this series is listen, this series is going to make Anthony Edwards even stronger next season. He's going to put up numbers next season. People are going to say, who is he mad at? He's going to be mad at the entire league. There's going to be a whole season of revenge tour for Anthony Edwards because he's going to get hammered when they get put out. And I told, not our fam here, but a lot of people outside of here, I said, look, if Denver wins game 3 and game 4, they're going to win 4 games in a row. And that's exactly what I think is going to happen. Minnesota will not win the next game. Denver's going to send them home. And this is a learning lesson. Like you said, everybody cuts their teeth. Isaiah with Boston. Magic Magic with the Sixers when they lost to them, and then Boston, and now Isaiah, name any superstar in the making, and they had to cut their teeth through a juggernaut. And right now it's Denver. I mean, people act like Denver not the defending champs. What are we talking about here? It's not like they losing to a play-in team. They're losing to the best team from last year. That still, in my opinion, is the best team in the West. I said that before. So I agree with you. I think that this is just a growing pain for Anthony Edwards. For anybody to say he doesn't care his trajectory, that's just ridiculous. That's ridiculous to me. He'll be just fine. It's going to make him stronger. But he hasn't seen this before, Cess. It's the playoffs now. You prepare every day for the same team. They know all the moves. And although Conley is 36 years old, that was a big loss for them because he gave some good quality minutes at that point guard position when they would play smaller. Like you said, when Nas would come in the game, instead of Gobert, Conley played those significant minutes. But without that, yeah, it's all on Anthony Edwards, but they'll be okay. He'll be okay.
Well, maybe he'll push it to 7, but I'm going to push back on you. There's no way that I'm going to let you call Big Cat Robert Ory. Robert Ory hit big shots for championships. There's no way.
Okay.
Big Shot Bob got rings.
No. Let me say,
Big Shot Bob got rings now.
Let me say this. I'm a Big Shot Bob fan. I'm talking about
Big Cat might be a lot of he might be a lot of things. He ain't Big Shot Bob though.
No. I'm talking about his shot selection. So let me clarify. Thank you. I'm talking about the way he's fallen in love. Anthony Edwards needs somebody else that's going to be a go-getter. I saw him go to the rim a few times, but I'm watching the defense. They're like, okay, he's going to pull up. They're sagging down. That's where Anthony Edwards wants to operate. So they're like, okay, take your midi or take your long range because even being a big man, you're not applying any pressure to down low. We're going to sag down and continue to double and triple team Anthony Edwards. So thank you. That's what I meant by that. All respect to Big Bob. Bob got 6 rings. I agree.
Yeah.
Broke our hearts. Big Shot Bob. I was at that game.
Cannot call him no Big Shot Bob. Okay, yeah, let's jump into this WNBA. We can start with opening night. Liberty Mystics. That was a pretty good game. Jonquel Jones had a good showing.
Whoa! Hold on. Jonquel Jones showed out. Jonquel Jones. From what I think, go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I mean, good showing, 25-8. Go ahead. I mean, you were really impressed. You were really impressed with it. No, you go ahead. You describe it. It was
okay. Here's what I noticed about the Liberty. There's been a lot of conversation, specifically with our fam, about the New York Liberty. I don't make it a secret. I am a Liberty fan. I like the Liberty. They made some questionable moves. It's clear to me that Jonquel Jones worked on her game in the offseason. And I know this is only one game, but I've never seen her this comfortable shooting from the 3. She was going down low. She was even running the floor. I've never seen her. Again, maybe it's because it's the beginning of the season, but it's clear to me that somebody whispered in her ear and said, Jonquel, for us to have any chance to go back to where we were last year, you have to be part of the big 3. You have to show up in the games. I saw a tremendous amount of ball movement. I see Stewie now. I see what you're doing, Stewie. Stewie's trying to be a stat stuffer. Stewie's trying to be a player that can pull her team to where they need to go. Now, the only thing that was a little that I'm still kind of on the fence about is Was New York that resilient, or is Washington that bad? Because it was a very close game.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask you. She had 25. She had 25 points, 8
Yeah.
rebounds against the
Right.
Washington Mystics with
Right.
no Elena Deladon. Who did she get it
Right.
against?
Right.
So
Right.
until she plays against somebody else,
Right.
like I
That's
said,
fair.
she had
That's
a
fair.
good showing. Because the last time I saw her, she was getting her butt whooped. Yeah, last time I saw her, she caught a whooping. Last time I saw her, so uh,
No,
I didn't.
that's fair. That's fair. That's fair.
I didn't see. So I saw them get blew out in the first game of the preseason. They
Mm-hmm.
came back and had a good game in game 2 of the preseason. John Quill
Mm-hmm.
had a good showing right here against a Washington Mystics team that we still trying to figure out who they are.
And
So
Washington was out to the lead too, Cess. Washington led the first half, I believe. Through 3 quarters, actually, they led that game. So I watched that game. Yeah. No, but I'm talking about, again, I'm looking at patterns, I'm looking at trends, I'm looking at the way they play. I like the way they had a lot of individuals involved within the game. But like I said, now let me tell you something about this game that was interesting to me. Where's she at? The center, to me, she was my standout player of this game on Washington. Austin, Shakira Austin. Shakira Austin showed me why she was the 3rd overall pick from Connecticut. She really had an impact on that game. I was just watching. She had 13 and 5, but it did not attribute to the impact she had on that game. I mean, she only took 11 shots. She shot 54%. She had 5 blocks. She was like really controlling that paint, which in large part may have caused Jonquel Jones to mix her game up. She started shooting from the outside. I'm going to keep my eye on her. I think, it'll be interesting to see what the Mystics do in the future. I know we talked about them. We kind of was like, joking a little bit, but on the serious note, like, who are they? What are they going to do? They're going to be a spread and pop type of team. They shot a lot of threes in the game, and they were ahead because they made a lot of them early in the game. So it's going to be interesting to see. Dolson took 6 threes. Samuelson took 6 threes. Van Loo took 4 threes. I mean, they shot a lot of 3-pointers. And Atkins showed out. She hit 4 threes. So, I mean, I don't know if it was first game. Washington kind of like we trying to figure them out, but I was impressed with the way the New York Liberty was resilient in that game. But like you said, we'll see. It was the first game against the Mystics. So, but I was impressed with Jonquel Jones though, and the young lady from Connecticut, the center. Just said her name. Yeah, she was impressive to me. Very good. Austin, Shakira.
Indiana Fever, Connecticut Sun.
You want me to go?
Yeah. What did you think? I was on the live.
Okay, so here's again. I'm a huge Bonner fan. I've always liked Connecticut. I think Connecticut is one of those teams. They got that they missed some opportunities because it was just superior talent in the league on other teams. To me, this looked like an experienced team playing against a team trying to figure out how to play with one another. And I will say this: those guards, Carrington, Harris, they definitely circled the game and said, we gonna bump Caitlin, we gonna touch her, we gonna put her out of her comfort zone. I think Caitlin ended up with like 21 or something like that. But in watching that game, that's what that game looked like to me. It was evenly distributed with Connecticut. I mean, it was business as usual for them. Bonner had 20, Carrington had 16, Harris had 16, Thomas had 13, Bantam had 10, 8. I mean, 4. I mean, this is what they do. Everybody, but I think it's only 2 players on their team that didn't score. So that's what it looked like to me. Caitlin didn't have a bad game, but she had it was her first game. You know what I mean? Like 4 out of 11 3-point field goals. So it's like, again, this is the different level that we've been talking about, Cess. we know you can shoot threes. It's different in college to the pros. Pros know you're going to shoot threes. You're going to get some athletes that can not only try to stop you from penetrating, they can recover and get to the 3-point line. That's what I saw. They were getting back out there like, you're going to have to earn this if you're going to shoot these 3-ball. I was a little, I don't know if it was the size that bothered Boston or was she just moving too fast. She just didn't, I don't know. Again, Connecticut, they're very experienced. They know. Now, there were bodies around her during the whole game, which is what I would have done too. But for her to be 4 points, 6 rebounds, that was a tough one. That was a tough go. So she only attempted 6 shots. So it was, yeah. So that's what I thought about that one. That one looked like new versus old. No disrespect to Connecticut. Your thoughts?
I thought it was very interesting that with all the experience on this team, the player that got the most minutes from Indiana was Caitlin Clark. She played 32 minutes. She wasn't playing the game. They said that she should have been playing 32 minutes. She was 5 of 15 with 10 turnovers, 4 of 11 from 3. She was on the floor the most, which does that mean that Sides is feeling the pressure of having to play her and going away from what she thinks her game should be?
Absolutely.
It's a catch-22 for Sides. She can't. So to me, you going out on your sword either way it go, because y'all not gonna win. Y'all not gonna win enough to satisfy the masses in this situation. So if I'm Sides, I'm going out on the sword on my terms. So until they send me out of here, I'm gonna call this thing the way I would truly call it. And if that's not having Caitlin play 32 minutes, then don't. You're on your way out anyway. You're on your way out anyway. Just goes like that. With it's unfortunate for her, but I think if you look back over history at every so-called superstar, especially like in the NBA, that first coach is not the one that can get them where they need to go, and eventually they are out of there. They go, and the talent stays, and that's probably what's going to happen here. Interesting for the players that she didn't play. As far as Boston looked a step slow. I don't know if that's Boston not being in shape. I don't know if that's Caitlin playing a little bit faster. Boston 2 of 6, but I don't know. Those 10 turnovers or any of those missed passes. I would have to go back and look. So were there opportunities that the 10 Caitlin turnovers could have given her from them being off with getting passes in? That part I don't know. The fact that they're already calling for Side's job, the fact that they're looking for Bluter to come in, I think that only magnifies the target on Caitlin's back, and I just don't know that Caitlin is ready to deal with that. When the pressure got to her, y'all want her to be the point guard, but when the pressure got to her, she don't have the handles to be the point guard.
Yes. I saw toward the end of the game, Cess, it's funny you say that. The last, because I think, let me look at it, make sure I'm accurate.
While you looking at that, a lot of people, it looks like people watch the Raven video, the Raven blueprint that's out there. Raven has some ripples on Caitlin in that national championship game. Her and Nika both exposed some things about Caitlin. We already knew that Caitlin didn't like physicality from the Ohio State game. So I think that there's tape out there. So for Sides to be saying in the press conference, like, hey, Caitlin got those numbers because she shot the most shots and she played the most minutes and she did that in college, but then she's here and she's playing the most minutes and she's basically getting the most shots. Caitlin played 32 minutes. Caitlin took 15 shots. I think we're going to find out really quickly here if I forget who it was. Somebody in the chat made the point that the way that Caitlin is running the pace of the game it doesn't allow Aaliyah to get into her offensive sets like she normally does because the ball isn't coming into her. She can't control the pace of the game, and she may be winded some out there trying to keep up with Caitlin wanting to go full speed. I also feel like Caitlin feels some real pressure to deliver those logo threes and to deliver those 30-point games. And it's unfortunate because what she needs to do really is take a deep breath and just be a rookie. It's unfortunate Caitlin needs to show up like Angel Reese showed up. I'm just here ready to work my butt off. But spotlight's on you. You know, $28 million shoe deal. You're supposedly the reason that of everything that's good in the WNBA now. It wouldn't happen without you. Um, it's a big target on her back. Every arena is gonna be filled up. They getting bigger, and we're gonna see how she handles the pressure. Um, I'm really interested to see how she handles the pressure. I know she did a good job with the off the court stuff for the most part in college, but we saw her throw some tantrums on the floor a little bit, and we saw her getting a little bit frustrated here already in the WNBA in some of these games. So we're getting ready to see.
And that's what I was gonna say. That fourth quarter, Indiana was outscored 27-14. So again, you saw a UConn. I mean, that's UConn, Connecticut. I always say that. You saw Connecticut get stronger in the fourth quarter, and I was watching Caitlin's body language, and you're absolutely right. She was talking to herself. She was trying to verbalize to the ref, but it's like you don't have that type of respect yet. You know, watch yourself. But Connecticut had.
I mean, and let's be honest. Let's give credit where credit is due. Dejanay Carrington locked her up.
Mm-hmm.
Dejanay Carrington, had her in a straitjacket. I mean,
But even when she got past her, the very few times somebody was right there. She earned every bit of her points. Look, we said this before, and this is where
and she can't. And she started to loosen up. You know, when she saw her first three go in, she started to loosen up as the game went on. But again, 32 minutes and the most shots.
32 minutes
what's different?
Look, 32 minutes is too much. You can't come into the WNBA with these athletes. I don't care what the deal is. I don't care what the star status is. I don't care. Like you said, is it really a catch-22? Because if you're really about winning, you're going to have a formula for who you think is your best player. I don't care. The owner said,
it's a catch-22. It's a catch-22.
He says, I want my boy on the field. What movie is that?
No, I want my boy on the field. Let me see. What was that?
Okay, if I give you this other hint, you're going to know. If I had to wrap you up, you still be out there playing your drums.
You talking about Drumline?
What the owner said, I want my boy on the field. So the owner must have said, I want my girl on the court. You hear me?
I think he told the choir. He told the band director, get it together.
Yeah,
exactly.
So, I'm being funny, but I'm just saying.
No, I mean them calls is coming.
Coach is doing a disservice to Caitlin. That's too much. You know what, Cess? Until you mention that, see, that's why we have a good chemistry here. I didn't even realize that until you said it. That she played the most minutes. I didn't even realize, because I'm engulfed in the game. I'm watching to see, I like to see my little. And one thing that was interesting to me, I didn't see a lot of Aaliyah at the top. I'm gonna set you a pick. I'm gonna roll to the basket, or I'm gonna bag up, or I'm at the top, or Caitlin, you get the ball. Boston sets the pick. Caitlin keep rolling to the rim. I didn't see that a lot. I didn't see a lot of that at all. So
Aaliyah got to be up there. She can't be running side by side with her. You know what I mean? She can't be behind her. Caitlin can't be pushing the pace bit faster than her big. Like they got to get on the rhythm. But it may be that that's not. It may be that that's just not the look for them. It may be that they're going to be more effective with Caitlin Clark trying to run with an Alyssa Smith, and trying to make it work that way. But 32 minutes on the floor and your plus minus was minus 13.
But Cess, is it too early? Is it too early? I want to say about 7 shows ago, you were talking about this, and you said, I think we kind of went back and forth. Not no argument, but we go back and forth as far as like whose team it is. I said unequivocally, Aaliyah Boston. And you raised that eyebrow. I was like, I don't know. When Caitlin get
She's gonna
there,
be the first to go.
yeah, it might be her. And I said, because remember, I was kind of shocked. I'm like, what you mean? It's Aaliyah Boston's team. It's Aaliyah Boston's team. That didn't look like Aaliyah Boston's team the way they played that first game. Coach,
Well,
you have to tell Caitlin Clark, Boston, the offense goes through Boston. That game did not look like the offense went through Boston. Not
Aaliyah definitely looked like the leader. I like the way that she pulled Caitlin to the side and walked her from the bench all the way down the tunnel at half court, trying to tell her to calm down, breathe, get ready to play your game. But the attitude and the look of the team is going to reflect the leadership, which is going to be the coach. And if the coach isn't empowered, nobody's going to respect what the coach is saying. And the coach isn't empowered.
Cess.
And that's just what it is. The
Cess,
coach
I'm
isn't
sorry.
empowered to run this team.
Cess, I'm sorry. Caitlin Clark, 15 field goal attempts. Boston, 6? No, absolutely not.
Again, like I said, I don't know. I would have to go back and look how many of these 10 turnovers were actual passes that would have been. She could have 16 shots if those 10 passes were off to Aaliyah, or she fumbled the pass, it got broke up. I don't know. I got to go back and look at the 10 turnovers.
After the 5th one, though, as the coach, aren't you supposed to make an adjustment? Say, okay, we need to do something here. This isn't working. It worked in practice. It's not working here. Connecticut's ready for it. We got to do something else. Get the ball in Boston's hands, okay? Get the ball in Boston's hands. I'm going to go back real quick to the New York Liberty game. The New York Liberty game, New York Liberty, and this is just what I saw because I liked the New York Liberty. New York Liberty was like, you know what? We losing this inside battle. We got to start moving the ball. We got to switch this up. And that's exactly what they did for the second half of the third quarter and the fourth quarter and won that game. They made some adjustments. You saw John Quayle popping out. You saw Stewie giving the pick and pop. You saw Stewie giving go. You saw Ionescu doing, you saw different plays going on. So they made an adjustment. That's all I'm saying. Okay, I don't know. First game, I know I'm saying a lot, but I don't know. I was yelling at the TV on this one, even in this game. But I like Connecticut though. I told you they're gonna be right there. They're a veteran team, so.
Connecticut was in their one game from the finals last year.
One game. That's right.
One
that's right.
Series.
And I said, I'm a huge Bonner fan. I want to see Bonner. I want to see Bonner get a championship. I don't know if Bonner will get it at Connecticut. Just my thoughts. I don't know. I'd love to see her go somewhere and get one.
We'll see. Alyssa Thomas played a great game.
Mm-hmm.
Alyssa Thomas is off to a great start for this season. Averaging a triple-double, 13, 10, 13. Really great game. Really good start to the season for Connecticut. So, and then, like I said, Dejanay Carrington locked her up. I think
you accurately called it, though, Cess. I think that the Fever, they're already looking for somebody. Okay, who can we got talent. We got 2 top 3 picks in 2 years. We should be, by midway point, they're going to be looking for their next coach. They could be. I don't want to see anybody lose their job, but I think you're right about that. I think they're looking for somebody, especially when you see what Spoon ended up doing. We think she going to do, ended up like doing better than people think. As a former great player being a coach, look for the next big thing coming up for this team. So just my thoughts.
Oh man, people getting fired.
Yeah.
They are. People getting fired. Okay. Fired. I told AIO the other day, it's too much. It's too much. Ain't got time. It's too much. It's some people getting fired around here. These rookies is finna cost people some jobs. It's too much. Well, let's see here. Let's keep going with Tuesday's games.
Vegas.
It was ring night for Asia. She dropped 30 points. They dropped the banner on them. Rings was beautiful. Ridiculous. Rings was ridiculous. Asia looked great. She showed everything. Midi to the basket. I want to say she even shot a 3. Definitely the early fade for MVP. It's not even close.
Yeah, the
She's
game started.
she,
I was like, this is gonna be ugly.
she's out here to leave no doubt. Her ring night shoes was fire. Uh,
So can I
concerned.
interject something here? Oh, go ahead, go ahead.
I was gonna say concerned that there was no Chelsea Gray. It's concerning. Thought that Chelsea was supposed to be healthy for the start of the season. It was just like no Chelsea, and then it ain't even like there's a date for Chelsea. What's going on with Chelsea? I'm not even really still clear what was the injury with Chelsea.
Stole
The
my
only
thunder.
thing I remember
Yep.
is seeing her in a lot of pain and saying that she heard a pop, and so I don't know if that was ever shared with us. Um, so that's a little concerning because that makes us a little thin at point guard, but it also gives an opportunity for Daisha Fair to be able to step in and let's see who she is from the interviews with Asia and Becky. It seemed like Daisha's a walking bucket. We know that scored over uh over 3,000 points
Mm-hmm.
in her career. So a great opportunity for her. Asia's a great leader. She's awesome. I love the way she uses her voice, calls teammates out, holds them accountable, even as the game is going on and the game is starting to slip away. It's an interview. I want to say it was in the fourth quarter where I asked Asia like, "What do you need? What do you think? Where do you think you guys are at? What do you need? What do you think you need?" She was like, "I need my teammates to lock in right now." Uh, Straight up, that's Asia being Asia. I love that about her. I think something that went unnoticed though in that game was Jackie Young. I think
Yeah.
Jackie Young is so
Yes. Yes.
underrated. Jackie Young went 23-7,
23.
6,
Mm-hmm.
3 steals, 2 blocks.
Mm-hmm.
23-7, 6 assists, 3 steals, 2 blocks. Jackie Young is very underrated. Big Guns came back. Jackie Big Guns Young. That's what I think I'm gonna call her. Big Guns.
Boy, did you give her credit for her 3 steals?
Yeah, yeah. Three
Okay.
steals
I'm sorry.
and 2 blocks. And two
Mhm.
blocks. Very underrated. Kelsey Plum had a good game. 19, 3, 5, 1 steal. Short bench. Short bench. Becky's only gonna go 7. Looks like right now. If no Chelsea though, that extra fair is gonna be really important.
She
But
didn't play.
let's what's that?
She didn't
No,
play.
Daisha Fair didn't play there. No, she didn't.
But,
She
but
didn't play.
here's my thoughts, and I'm gonna let you finish this, but I got to jump here. You mentioned about Gray. Here's what happens with the Gray effect. Okay, what happened with the Gray effect is what happened in the second quarter. This is where players are getting rested a little bit. They were outscored 27-13. Why? Because in that second quarter, the bench was thin, and Phoenix is playing like 4 guards, and I'm not exaggerating when I say that. And the 4, they were playing that fast-paced game, and it was like they took advantage of it. But know what happened in quarter 3 and 4? They got outscored again both times. Third quarter by 5, fourth quarter by 3, and Las Vegas won that game. So without that second quarter, this game would have been a blowout. So it's getting right to the point that you mentioned, as far as they're going to have to figure out some things about that bench. Um, I don't know why. Let me see. I was just looking at it. Oh shoot! Stop. I don't know why Fair, Cannon, or Martin didn't play. I don't know. Bell played 7 minutes, had 1 rebound, but I don't know. Was it because that second quarter was a bit much? I think they kind of misjudged some of those subs. I think she misjudged some of those adjustments in the second quarter. To rest her team. Um, I mean, fully knowing that they could get back into this game. No disrespect to Phoenix. Phoenix is yeah. Phoenix
Well,
a long season.
let's not. Let's. We can't take for granted that they can just get back in the game. That's still Diana Taurasi that was over there. Diana
Yeah,
Taurasi
yeah,
dropped seven.
yeah,
Diana Taurasi dropped 7 threes.
yeah.
DT dropped 7 threes. I think
Copper got off. Copper
what they
got
was
off.
calling what was they calling her? Dinah Torres.
That Taurus.
Dinah Torres, 23.7 threes. Copper 14-8-7. Real happy, very happy for her play. And then Cloud and Allen, 14 points apiece, 8 and 7 rebounds
Yeah.
respectively. Good showing for Phoenix. Veteran team. Not much for them. Anything you want to say about the Lynx and the Storm?
Okay. Um, So again, watch this game. We talked about before whose team is this going to be. First game looks like Jewel Lloyd is still like, look, this is my team. Okay, I'm going to be the alpha. They're going to have to play small and fast. It didn't work. I mean, that's the short version of this game. Minnesota caught fire from the 3-point line, but clearly size was everything in this game. The only person that was willing to even go down there to try to bang with some of the taller player was Nika, and she was overmatched. I mean, she was getting bodied in the paint. It was like a layup line down low. They couldn't stop anybody.
Who you say try to get down there?
I always mess her name up.
Oh, Neka Agumake.
Neka Agumake. So here's what I saw. ISO ball. I saw Skylar get the ball one-on-one. If it went in, it's a great. If not, why didn't you pass it? There was 2 sequences, and I watched this game twice, where Seattle passed the ball 5 times in the possession. Beautiful. Got a layup at the end of the play. But there were several instances during this game where the ball stayed on one side of the floor with Jewel Lloyd. The ball stayed on one side of the floor with Neka. Then the ball stayed on one side of the floor with Skylar. They have to learn how to move that ball. This individual type of I'm going to get my bucket, go crash the boards, that's not going to work. And they have no size. I'm sitting here watching like, why are you all trying to do this 2-person game with 2 guards? That's not going to work. You got to find another way to score. And Minnesota just picked them apart. Who was that really picked them apart? Let me see. It was
Smith.
Smith.
Collier.
Yeah.
Courtney Williams.
And Collier just did what she wanted down low. Nobody had an answer for her down there. She was doing what she wanted.
Who did you see in Seattle that was going to have an answer for her?
No, I didn't. But I'm just saying, like, they have no size to throw at anybody down low. So if that's the case, which we knew going into this season, you got to figure out how to make it work. If you got pretty much three wings, 3 guards out there, you got to figure out how that works. You got to figure out how to play. And clearly, I don't know if they had enough time together, but I did not like the ISO ball. I was applauding, standing up in my little makeshift man cave when they was moving the ball because it was some great, beautiful basketball. But I counted 2. Now I'm gonna go back and watch it again. Diggins looked comfortable after the second quarter. Lloyd looked like, you know what Lloyd looked like? Lloyd looked like, we in trouble. that's what Lloyd looked like. Hey, we got to figure this out. She took 19 shots. Smith took 1 3-pointer. So they were trying to play fast, but I don't know. It just wasn't. They got to figure that out, or they could be like in single-digit wins this season. I thought they were one of my dark horses. I'm still not going to give up on them. I think they're going to figure it out. Those 3, the 3-headed monster, they got to get together and figure out what are we going to be. I was impressed with the hands on defense. They had some 10 steals, but it didn't produce enough points. So it was an entertaining game. I didn't know a lot about Minnesota. Oh, let me touch on this. Peely. So here's my issue. Peely played 10 minutes. She had 1 rebound, 1 field goal attempt. And it was a 3-pointer. Now, let me be clear to the fan. I'm not going to be too hard on her, but this is exactly what I talked about when I said when it was time for her to get drafted. Remember, Cess? I said, what is she? Is she a 3? Is she a 4? Is she a hybrid 2? I don't know. But the problem I have is Peely, in those 10 minutes she played, looked absolutely lost and confused the entire time. She looked confused, Sass.
That's not on Peely though. Peely can be a 3. Peely can be a 4. Peely has a game that plays at the WNBA level. What Peely is not is a Minnesota Link. That's the problem. She's not at a
Ooh,
place. She's not at
tell
a
me
place where
more.
she's gonna. She's not at a place where she's gonna be developed. Peely probably isn't protected in the expansion draft, and you see her go to Golden. You see her go to Golden State and be a Valkyrie and do something different on the West Coast where she's gonna fit in better. It's more culture. Uh, she'll be able to go back on the West Coast and be able to play in a different style. Uh, in a different style organization, in a different style offense. I think Golden State will be good for Peely.
Hmm.
Um, you get a Peely out there. It looks like Paige Beckers is tagging the Valkyries like crazy. Like she would love to be out there. So
That's interesting. That's a strong take right there,
I
Sass.
think that I think that Peely is a WNBA player. I think she's got the heart of a player. I've watched her. I don't know that she's comfortable. I'm gonna give Rakia a couple more games, and then I'm gonna see really what I think about her. But also, somebody who could end up in the expansion draft and at Golden State doing something different versus where they're at. But uh, I'm not sold. I'm not sold on Seattle. Seattle shot 37% from the field, 11% from three. Uh, like I said from the beginning, I thought that they were old. Um, I thought that they needed a shot of youth. I think that Nika Mule is supposed to be that shot of youth. I think if you have that type of defense, the game maybe looks different. You know, it was a 13-point game. Can Nika get you 13 and some good defense? Maybe you know, and then that game looks different. It's an absolute shame that we're still talking about we're still talking about a visa issue for this young lady not being able to play.
Hmm.
That you know we knew that she wasn't going to be a student and she was going to be going to work here for a long time. So for that not to be taken care of is really disappointing. But again, I'm gonna segue real quick here before we get back to the other couple games. Just another example of some of the things that the WNBA has fumbled here so far. That her fan base is on fire about her not being able to play. That's a fumble. The chartered flights to some and not others. To have Caitlin Clark um, flying on the charter plane and then have Angel still on the commercial flight saying that she's praying that's not the case going forward. Really, you can't roll out chartered flights to part of the league and not all, and to say that we're still trying to be able to get planes around. Come on, that's a cop out, and it's disappointing. And it's just basic stuff that your mom that your mom taught you. If you ain't got enough for everybody, then you can't take it out. You have to wait till your friends is gone.
Hmm.
If it's not enough to go around, so you can't start charter flights till it's enough to go around, and that's just how it goes. Just another example, and that's not to just take a total shot at the WNBA because they're growing up. They've done some things that are really good. They're moving in the right direction, but they're really fumbling this bag in front of everybody. The mistakes that are being made are not behind the scenes mistakes that they could clean up and work on and use as coaching opportunities. They are fumbling this bag in front of everybody. The coverage on these games, still not being able to see every game. I mean, quite frankly, your product isn't popular enough in the WNBA. The WNBA product isn't popular enough at this time to be blacking out any games in any type of market. You need to be trying to play it anywhere somebody want to see it. You know, any place somebody want to see it. You understand? TVs,
I agree.
ETVs, tablets,
Mm-hmm.
phones,
Mm-hmm.
etch a sketches. You hear me? I don't care if they
Did you
want to see
just
it on
say
etch a sketch.
education?
Yeah, that's what I said. I don't care if they want to see it on the etch a sketch, a Game Boy, whatever it is. Wherever somebody's trying to see your product right now, you should be giving it away. You should be giving it away so that it can come back to you. Uh, I want to say somebody was on the live from South Africa, looking for a way to be able to watch the game, looking for streams.
Mm-hmm.
I may be misremembering. I know it was an international country, but just the fact that people are looking for it in the daytime with a flashlight, and y'all aren't giving it away. Like you got the nerve to be trying to hold on to this thing. It is ridiculous to me. So that's my soapbox for that. We don't. I know we don't got enough time, a
No,
lot of
no.
time here. So
I want to say one thing about. I like what you said about. That's one thing I forgot in that Seattle game. You are absolutely right, Cess. That fourth quarter, Seattle had run out of gas. They run out. They scored 10 points, and
mhm.
the 10 points they scored were the hardest 10 points that any of them have ever scored in their first in the first game of the season. Probably their entire career. They looked gassed. It looked like it was 7 Lynx players out there, as slow as they were moving up and down that course. So you're absolutely right. It was a fairly close game, Seth. It was a close game, like you said. It was only a yeah. It was a what is this? It was a Seattle was up by 2 in the first. They were down by 1 at half. At the end of the third quarter, they were only down by 2.
Yeah,
And it was 20-10 in the fourth quarter. Like, I mean, but it looked bad. They looked slow. They were out of gas.
got to be able to close. Got to be able to close. And I think that's the
Yeah.
same thing that we saw with the Chicago Sky uh, Wings game. Angel Reese, let me just say, she's
Okay.
building a heck of a partnership with Chicago. Really proud of this 22-year-old. Um, she is so intentional with her brand, and it's showing up every day even more. The stare down that she had of Stewie in the preseason just let us know where she's at mentally. She's not here for no games. She's gonna be the same Angel.
I saw an article, Seth, that said, and I don't know if you covered this or not. Um, it said that Angel Reese was the steal of the draft. And I can recall us talking about there's no way she's falling down to 7 or 8, even after the tournament. You know, during the SEC tournament, I think we were talking about that. Like, she gonna go down that low? Because I was kind of shocked. I'm like, 7 or 8, and we started talking about the players that were going before her. And I think
I
there's
mean, maybe it was by design.
yeah, I
Maybe it was
think
by
there's like
design.
3 teams that's gonna be looking back at that draft saying, we might have missed out on one. Just my thoughts. Um,
I mean, they lost the season opener. They was on the road. Lotto came to see Angel. The stars are getting ready to show up. This thing is getting ready to blow up. The Chicago home game is going to be big. I hope that they're in a position to get a win. I know it's really frustrating not to have Camila Cardoso, and I think that was the difference in the
yes,
game tonight.
yes,
They got out to a good start. They couldn't finish. Turnovers combined with no Cardoso, I think just really um, finished them off at the end. Angel Reese finished though with 12, 8, 1, and 1. She had 2 turnovers. All 5 starters for Chicago was in double figures. All 5 starters, right? But they only got 12 off the bench.
right.
They only
That's
got 12
impressive.
points off the bench.
Right. But hold on now.
I was thinking. Go ahead.
Ogumawale said, "Look."
I'm finna get to that,
Oh,
but
go ahead.
I was thinking that it was the guard play,
Mm-hmm.
but I really think the problem that Chicago has when I'm looking is that they don't have a knockdown 3-point shooter. They don't have anybody that they can just say go knock down the three.
Yep.
And I think that showed up in the game for them tonight.
Yep.
Now, Enrique, uh, they didn't have an answer for her in the fourth. There wasn't a defensive answer for her in the fourth.
Mm-mm.
Um, I don't know that they have somebody that's going to step up and just be a defensive stopper. I think you have a Camila Cardoso that protects the rim and rebounds. And that just wasn't there for them tonight. Hopefully it gets back. Hopefully she gets back sooner than later. But Enrique finished with 25, 3, 7, and 3. She gave him 11 in the fourth. They just didn't have an answer for her. Once she started going off, nobody stepped up. Nobody stepped up and even said, "I'm even gonna try to take a foul or anything. Um, and then the bigs dominated the sky.
Dominated.
They dominated the sky, and that was those were the stories of the game for me.
Yeah.
But I think those are all things that they could fix. But you let me know what you think. I got one more to get to real quick
Yeah.
before you got to
Now,
get
I'm
out of
just
here.
gonna say real quick was McGowan and Howard, like you said, they combined for 26 rebounds.
You
There's
can't
nothing
teach
you can
six
do with
seven.
it.
Can't teach you can't teach 6'7".
Yeah.
That's the story there. But really quickly, we could talk about the Sparks game.
Yeah.
Rakia Jackson looked a little bit more comfortable as the game went on.
Yeah.
Still started. Finished with 7-3 and 1, 3 turnovers. She played about 18 minutes. She was 3 of 10. So she had a chance to score some more. Uh, her shot started to fall. Like I said, and
Mm-hmm.
she started to look like she could compete for the Rookie of the Year once it got going.
Mm-hmm.
She looked more comfortable, but still hesitant at times. Still, for lack of a better term, timid. So, some taking a shot. I don't know if that's just her being in her head and wanting to be, really make sure that she does a good job. But I also, I'm looking at her to see if is LA going to really work for her. Kurt Miller, I like him as a coach. But I think Rakia may, from what I'm seeing right so far through the first two preseason games and this game, maybe would have benefited from a coach like Teresa Witherspoon. Los Angeles, California, Hollywood might be a little bit too laid back. Rakia looked like she kind of chilling. I'm used to her being fiery. Give me the ball, let's go. She
Mm-hmm.
gave us work, 30 points, 29. I never seen her kind of get in that mode. It was kind of like she was just kind of going with the flow. I don't know
Mm-hmm.
that Kurt is going to be able to light the fire under her that it takes to really turn her game on. She's more of a grinder, somebody
Mm-hmm.
that you got to get touching the ball early. Coming off the bench is going to be a little tougher. But then if you are going to bring her off the bench, I think that you're going to have to feature her in the first 2, 3, 4 times down the court once you get her in the game to kind of get her warmed up and going and get her motor going. Because once her motor is going, it doesn't stop. But this is a player who has been like her since high school, middle school, probably forever. So she probably has never had to come off the bench. So this is also probably an adjustment that she's also going to have to figure out. So just a lot that Rakia is dealing with here at the beginning of the season, being a rookie, learning how to be a professional, getting used to being in LA, learning how to turn her own motor on and self motivating them spaces, and then getting used to coming off the bench. So, but I definitely think if she can get going, she can work herself into being able to start. I feel like LA started off fast and they just fell apart down the stretch of the fourth. Hamby and Nurse definitely had great games, 20 and 23 out of them. Brink went for 11, 2, 4, 2 blocks. If Cameron Brink can't stay on the floor, then her defense isn't going to be any good. You can't keep having 5 fouls. You can't have the most fouls in the WNBA. And this was one of the things we talked about. One of the things that I complained about. One of the reasons that I said not a number two pick caliber player for me. Too many fouls. You foul out the biggest games, and we're right here on the trajectory to have the most fouls for the season. Um, Rakia was the only work also that they got off the bench. 7 points, and they had one other point that came off the bench. I think Zaya gave him one. She only played 6 minutes. 8 minutes off a bench, 8 points off a bench is a problem. The Atlanta Dream, they bounced back from a slow start. Ryan Howard, 25 points, 2, and 2 blocks. Tina Charles, Tina Charles, Tina Charles, Tina Charles. I don't know how people forgot. Still can play, still got game, still that deal. 21, 14, and 2. That's a great
Mm-hmm.
pickup for Atlanta. She's a great pickup for Atlanta.
Mm-hmm.
Atlanta really reminded everybody of who she is. Atlanta is going to be really interesting to watch down the stretch. Coach, I turn it over to you.
Just a little. Okay, no disrespect, Sparks. I'm not sure why didn't Rakia Jackson start. I just because correct me if I'm wrong. Brink got to start, right?
Yeah, Brink starts.
So I think the Sparks have to figure out what type of team are we going to be. They look big and slow against Atlanta. Atlanta looked faster than them. Atlanta looked like they wanted. Atlanta looked like they knew what they were going to do, and that's not an oxymoron. We know that because this is a new team with the Sparks. But I was very surprised that Rakia didn't start because of her versatility with the ball. So it's like you're saying you're going to start Brink because of her height, okay, but overall, what are you really trying to do with your team? You got Rakia who can shoot it, she can pass it, she can score from just about anywhere on the floor. Why is that versatility coming off the bench? She played 18 minutes. Brink played 19 minutes. But like you said, Brink played 19 minutes because of the foul trouble. He probably would have played more. I don't know. I don't want to be too hard on the coach, but I'm gonna watch that closely because I just don't understand why she wouldn't start. I really don't. I don't get it. I mean, and here's the thing. Let me be clear, fam. I'm talking about her starting instead of Brink. I'm not talking about, the veterans that are there. I'm not talking about Nurse. I'm not talking about Hamry. I'm not talking about Clarendon. I'm not talking about Brown. I'm talking about I would have Nurse, Hamry, Rakia, Clarendon, and Brown. That would be my starting five.
Well, I mean, I'm gonna push back a little bit right there, Coach, just because I felt like in the preseason, Hamby and Brink looked good. They played well together off each other on the floor. And part of this may be just kind of how you're looking and how you're picking up the offense. I do remember Rakia saying there was a lot of information to download. So maybe still just getting comfortable with the lingo, the offense. And maybe we'll see her. I definitely think, though, she can play herself into a starting position. But just making sure that she's comfortable.
Yeah, or maybe she'll be one of those players getting starters minutes. Like you said, maybe not a starting position, but like she's on the floor in the fourth quarter when they, if it's a tight game, because they know she's a walking bucket. But interesting. I enjoyed it. I'm going to go back and still probably watch a couple of these games to look at some stuff that I, in Coach Rowe fashion. I like to look at small things to look at, but I was thoroughly entertained with all of these games. So, yeah, that's my thoughts. Keep my eye on New York, keep my eye on Seattle. Still my dark horse. I still like Connecticut, but I don't think they're going to go as far as I think. This is still the Las Vegas Cupcake Classic. I mean, they look the strongest. They look like in the second quarter, it was like, okay, I'm going to chill out, enjoy my ring. Oh, man, we down? Let me get back in here. Let's take back over. You got Tom Brady standing up, clapping in the front row. So, I mean, come on.
Oh, yeah, definitely gonna be fun in Vegas. I'm here for it. Y'all know what it is. It's your favorite auntie with Uncle Tendencies. If this kind of content that y'all into, come on, y'all. We on our push to try to get to 5,000 and then 1 million each one. Invite one. Let's double this thing up. If this kind of content you into, y'all hit that subscribe button, ring that notification bell, like the video, share the videos, engage in the conversation. Let's grow this thing. Until next time, y'all. Stay tuned. Talk soon. We out.
Holla.